Mics are going live,
Okay.
guys.
What you're saying.
One
Section.
church is now.
Yeah.
I see them on the computer. They're having a grand old time in there.
All right, we're gonna start the meeting.
Singing and dancing.
I guess I'm doing the roll call.
Yeah,
John Roskovich.
I'm here.
Jody Mills.
Here.
Jim Timonier. Here. Jane Haynes DiGiacomo. I almost abbreviated that. Here. Okay, so we have 3 guests today. What this meeting is really about is help for the coming colder months. And I'm gonna lead off with Amy Corson from PCD, and she's gonna talk about the CHIP program, and I don't know what all you're talking about.
Right now, I'm just talking about the CHIP program.
Okay,
Right now, our current program, we are out of money. There is no funds available for roofs or heating as of the end of this year. We will have more money in the beginning of January. And there's actually a bigger pot of money this time around. We will approximately have around $600,000 to spend in the city,
wow.
which is great, but the $600,000 goes very quickly. Our costs have increased by triple. Recently, our last few bigger rehab jobs have been over $100,000. In those rehab jobs, we are doing complete rehabilitation of the home. We're replacing windows, all new electrical, all new doors. So we do lead abatements of that house. So the costs are getting very, very high. So we are making some progress. So this past grant, I will approximately help about 9 households. We've done 3 complete rehabs, and then we've done 6 home repairs. And all of the home repairs were roofs, and then 5 were roofs and 1 was a furnace. And we do partner with Community Action very often. And the reason why our home repair program is so important, we try to do the roofs so Community Action can come in and do the weatherization and provide the furnaces. Because Community Action cannot provide a furnace if the roof is leaking, or if the electric is not updated. If the electric has knob and tube wiring in, then they cannot do that furnace work. So then at that time we try to partner and do complete the electrical. So yeah, that's it. And in our program, I do not have to market. I have enough applications sitting upstairs right now that I could help. We do partner well with Community Action and with 211, so most of our money is obligated before I even have it. That's the unfortunate part about it. The city of Ashtabula could take a few $1 million, and we probably still wouldn't have enough.
Is that a match, Amy? Or
No, we do not match. This is a competitive grant, though, and we partner with the county of Ashtabula.
Yeah.
And it is competitive.
I mean, the homeowner doesn't have to match.
No, the homeowner does not.
Okay.
And there is no, we do hold a lien on the property for 5 years.
Okay.
So they do not sell. And then after 5 years, the new state rules are it is completely forgivable. Before it was a 10% payback.
Okay.
So if they had a rehab for $50,000 after 5 years, if they sold or transferred the property, $5,000 would get paid back. And then what that does then is helps other people get repairs to their homes. So that money goes into what they call a program income fund. So then it goes back into a pot that we can keep helping people.
So it has to be something energy or structurally related, like we were talking. Nobody can come to you and say, "I want to redo my kitchen."
No,
it has to
it's
be.
not. That's the thing. Like we've had a lot of trouble, recently with all these home HGTV and
Things like that.
shows, and then a lot of times we're doing a lot of work that isn't pretty work, but it's necessity work.
Right.
It's we're not really updating kitchens, or we do flooring if the flooring is tripping hazard, you know, those types of things. We can, with the cost of this, just the mechanical items, we can't do any kind of pretty work, unfortunately.
So what are the guidelines?
Well,
So if somebody was interested in applying, and I understand it's competitive, what is it that we look at?
Well, there's an application process. It's based on that they have to own their home. Their property taxes have to be current. We'd like to see homeowners insurance, which we have to bend that rule at times because a lot of homeowners are losing their insurance due to their roofs in bad repair. So the insurance companies are dropping homeowners. So once we do the rehab, then that's a requirement that they have to obtain that homeowner's insurance after that fact. And then there's an income guideline. And the income guideline is 80% of the median income. So the income guidelines are actually pretty decent. They're higher. And the application it's first come, first serve is how we've always worked it. Right now, I have enough applications that I wouldn't even have to seek more, but every grant, we start a new application. So probably February of 2024, I'll start accepting new applications. So then the people that are kind of sitting that I have now, I will let them know, because they keep calling and asking, you know, because they have roofs that are
So then
leaking.
they have to start a new.
They have to start a new application, yes.
Gotcha.
Because I have to re-verify income and go back through that.
Sure.
One other thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Amy, the process after we get to that point to go look at the house to see what actually has to be done. If it's a situation where the house is just in too far gone of shape and it's a walk away, it's kind of what we term it, they will not put that type of money into a house.
You know,
So there has to be other guidelines that they meet. House has to be sustainable.
Nice.
And is it like would you like repair a section of roof, or you have to replace the whole roof?
You replace it all.
Oh, so
That's
you
it. The state requires this. It's called the Residential Rehabilitation Standard Code, and that's a HUD issued housing code that we follow. So if Ohio's code is more stringent, we follow Ohio's code. If their code is more stringent, we follow their code. But we cannot do any roof repair.
You gotta
Everything
get
is
a whole new
replaced.
roof. Somebody can't call and say, hey, I need 3 new windows or this
No.
or that. You gotta.
We have to do it. We have to address them all. And whenever we replace windows, we have to test for lead-based paint.
Oh,
And
wow.
when those windows are replaced, we have to do lead abatement. So our homeowners are even relocated during that time. They're not allowed to be in the home when we do any lead abatement work.
Do you do asbestos abatement work?
No.
Okay. So if I was a homeowner interested, where would I find this application?
Well, they could contact me. And I would provide that. We don't offer that online right now, only because of the fact that I really hate to get people's hopes up, because there just isn't enough
gotcha.
money there for the need.
It
that
sounds
we
like
have.
a lot of money till you go to spend it.
Yeah. And we're very excited about the additional funding that we're receiving. I'm super excited about it, but I just know how quickly it will go.
So what was our funding last year then?
Well, we last year for the last program we had about 400,000.
Oh, so it's a substantial, but then prices have gone up substantially.
Amy, would it be a real involved thing? I'm just thinking council would it be a real onerous thing if, like, you gave us a report saying we did 11 houses, 7 roofs?
No, I
have all that.
absolutely could
I
do
just
that.
think council might be interested. I know.
Oh,
I found it.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I
think
could
the
give
other
you before and
council.
after pictures. I could.
Well, I don't know if you need all that, but I
Show
think
you-
council might like to see the
Yeah, I
numbers, you
agree.
know.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Can you email it to me and
Oh,
then I'll just
I sure
include it
will.
in my
Okay,
report?
yeah, if it's a big project, then.
No, it's not at all. I have it right
We have
on
to
my
report all
fingertips.
that.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
I report. We have a report that we have to submit quarterly, so I have all of that.
Oh, that would be nice, I think. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super passionate about housing, and
Yeah.
I love it.
I know I referred one person to you and then you were unable to help them, but you sent other help their way, which I
Oh, good.
appreciated.
Oh, good. Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So who wants to go next?
Let's see if you want to talk about heat and all that stuff. I'm probably
I just
not
didn't
the
know.
person to talk about.
Well, I'd be happy to go next because it kind of dovetails a little bit with what some of Amy talked about. Because, yes, we do partner very closely and we try to refer people whenever possible to the CHIP program. But the first one I want to talk about is the Winter Crisis Program. So it's utility assistance primarily that we have that's, I guess, specifically for the colder months. It's technically the Home Energy Assistance Program, HEAP. But it actually has two parts. One is kind of a regular benefit, and the other is a crisis program, the Winter Crisis Program. The basic difference there is the status of the account. So they can get the regular HEAP benefit without having to be in a disconnect status. So it can provide a one-time payment towards their major heating bill. And that usually comes in the early part of the year, February, March, so they can kind of see what the bills are, because the state provides that benefit and it's an average of a formula that they use to kind of compensate, and they send that directly to the utility company on that person's behalf. The other program is where we are involved, and that's the Winter Crisis Program, and they have to have a face-to-face interview for that one. They also have to be either in a disconnect status, be disconnected, or have 25% or less of their fuel oil if they happen to be a bulk fuel customer. So with that, they call and make an appointment, bring in the items that they need, and we have all of that is available once the season really starts. It starts November 1st, and it runs through March 31st generally. So we don't yet have the final guidelines for this coming season. They'll be bringing those out in October. But generally, they can provide the one-time benefit to get them reconnected if they're disconnected, take them out of the disconnect status for 30 days. And then they also couple that with the percentage of income payment plan if they're eligible income-wise for that, so that they can get on a balanced. They pay a percentage of their income every month. If they stay on that, there's forgiveness on some of their back balance, and it allows them to maintain their service continuously. So those are really good programs for the winter crisis season. Generally, the appointments in the beginning of November are pretty, so we usually do walk-ins for about a week or 2 weeks, depending on how the season's been going, just to get more people in if they've been off for some time. And then we move to the appointment schedule with walk-ins as well. So all of that will be on our website, www.accaa.org, or they can always call 211. They have all of the information with regard to income eligibility. It is an income-based program, 175% of the federal poverty guidelines. So, that will also be posted what that income level is, so people know. There are some exceptions that they make, some based on the household. So it's always good to apply if they think they're, close at all. We always encourage that. So that's kind of the winter crisis program that's coming up. We're still in summer crisis program, so if there are any of the remaining heat days in this month, we're running that through September 31st, and that was providing an air conditioner and or fans and help with electric bills. So we try to have those crisis programs to help with either the heat or the cold during those time frames. The other thing that kind of ties in with what Amy was talking about is our weatherization program. So the weatherization program can also provide some assistance through the winter months, because if we weatherize the home, there's a reduction in the amount of energy use for that home, and that reduces their bills. For the weatherization program, they would make an application. Right now, we're accepting applications. We did receive increased funding for the weatherization program, so they're working on expanding that program right now. So we should be able to assist even more households. It is work on the house, so that's, you know, if the person, if that house has not been weatherized, then, and the occupant meets the eligibility, then we can weatherize it. If the home's already been weatherized, even if they've just moved in, within a certain time frame, we can't re-weatherize it. But we can do, first they'll come in, they'll do an inspection, an assessment to see, every home is different. So sometimes people say, well, I got this when I was weatherized, and someone thinks that their home should have that as well. But it's all based on they take all kinds of measures when they go into the house. They do testing with different equipment, and then they take that back, and that tells them what measures will make that home more energy efficient. Then they schedule for a furnace crew to come out. If the furnace, those combustion appliances indicate that they need to be repaired or replaced, they'll work on that. They'll also have the insulation specialist come out and whatever was indicated on the assessment to provide that insulation. So they don't necessarily do windows unless the windows are leaking enough energy to, you know, make that assessment show that that would be a replacement that they would need. Doors the same way. If it's not sealing properly and there's not a way to remedy that, they can replace the doors. So it all depends on the home and what that home indicates for need. We do have some companion programs, I like to call them, that we have from various sources that can do additional measures that we couple with our weatherization, including the CHIP program. But we do have our enhancement program, they call it. We have our home repair programs as well. So we can pull from all of those to try to be as comprehensive as we can in providing assistance to that homeowner for the things that they need. So we are able to do some roof repair. We are able to do some electrical things. So hopefully between the programs that we have in the county, we're able to help homeowners wherever we can. The weatherization program serves not only Ashtabula County, but also Lake and Geauga County. So that's one of our programs in our agency that kind of has a more regional scope. So those are the ones that are primarily for winter. We always want to talk about 211 because we track what other programs are available. So when someone does have an issue, we can provide them with resources and referrals to anything that does exist within the county and kind of help them kind of patchwork what might help their situation or get them directly to a resource. So I have a lot of information that I will send to you down to the panel, but that's why I really wanted to present those two programs, I guess primarily what we would look at as kind of our winter assistance type programs.
So if somebody is in need of this, they would call 211, they would call community action. What does that look like?
So they can always call 211 and they'll get the number to call. We always say that because it's easier. We will, as I said, on our website, we have the numbers where they can, you know, call into the appointment line. We have an appointment line that's automated that they set up their appointments through for the Winter Crisis Program. That's, you know, prominent there. One thing I do want to mention for anyone who hasn't come back since last season, we have moved that office to 4200 State Road in our State Road office from where we were before. So trying to get that word out for anybody who's, you know, just coming in for winter crisis again. But generally our website and calling 211 is the best way to get directly to the right location, because we are confusing and we have different buildings and we don't want people to go on an unnecessary trip.
How about after the November, people come in November, make an appointment. How about if somebody has a change in circumstances, this or that, January they need help? Are they past the deadline? Do they go to Catholic Charities? What happens then?
This is a one-time per season. So yes, we would be referring them to another source. Sometimes we have other sources that we can utilize. Sometimes we have Emergency Food and Shelter Program monies for utilities that we can use. But yes, we would be referring to any of our partners that we know have additional.
Really, they got to, beginning in November, they have to go and then get the
And
fly and everything.
again, if they're eligible, the percentage of income payment plan guidelines are a little less, they're 150%, but if they're eligible for that, we really encourage them to get on that, or to get on a balanced billing if they're over the PIP, so they
So,
can.
do you help them or advise them? I know like there's apples to apples where you can compare what your rate looks like. Is that a service you offer as well, or not really?
We don't really advise them in that way, but 211 could certainly help them work through the apples to apples website if they were having difficulty with that.
And then I had, I guess a comment. So I'm a nerd. I listen to NPR radio, and it was today they were talking that because of losing some of the benefits that COVID had brought on, that poverty is really going up this year, really, really going up. So I think these programs are so important because I think with the, I guess it's child credits and so on, that people are losing out on those benefits, and they're just finding themselves, or maybe they were just standing still, now they're falling below. So I think it's you know, it's children are our most vulnerable population that are kind of falling off. So
Definitely, that's why these programs are here, to just help people kind of fill in the gaps. Everybody needs help now and then. Costs are going up. It's a struggle for some folks, yes.
Do you have information on Ashtabula City as opposed to, like you have Ashtabula County, Lake County, but like how does our city utilize your services? I know it fluctuates probably every year, but like a percentage-wise of.
I don't directly have that information with me, but we do have, they track all of that in the state system, because it's, you know, we have to work through that state web online portal to do our applications.
Sure. I was
so
just
they have all the
curious how
reports and-
much of
That would be interesting.
that need was for here in the city.
And generally, because of the percentages of population, it's higher in the city. You know, just it kind of mirrors some of that. And then, of course, bulk fuels are more prevalent down in the southern part of the county where we do assistance there. So,
Yes.
but we can bring that information to you.
I'm a numbers person, but I was just kind of curious if you guys get those numbers, like
Oh yeah,
forward those.
like I said,
on.
I don't. That's not my department anymore, but I can get that. Yes.
thank you, Carmen. All right, you're next.
Great. Now, well, I wanted to mention one report that's out there. I don't have the full acronym of it, but it's called the ALICE Report. And the ALICE Report speaks to not only just poverty, but those that are working poor. So recent statistics from the last report, I think it was 2020, showed that Ashtabula County had close to 50% either in poverty or in the ALICE category, which is those that are working and trying to make ends meet. So there's lots of different types of reports out there that measure where our community is. It doesn't mean that they're not thriving. It might be that those that are working, the cost of living might make them be in a position of making decisions based off their budget. So, you know, when we're talking about heating and maintaining ourselves during the winter time, where our agency comes into play is we hope that when we meet with someone and we find that they would be eligible for HEAP, we're going to refer them. But we may be talking to Community Action and they may say, they don't qualify, what can you guys do? And we may be looking at a comprehensive budget or assessing their situation and maybe looking at other ways of handling their hardship. Because a lot of times it's due to a hardship, whether it's loss of income, a medical situation, or additional expenses that really, when you think about it, you hear the expression, you're one paycheck away. So one hardship could really kind of like do the domino effect. So our hopes are, or our role is to be able to support those that need HEAP or any kind of winter crisis program. We work in collaboration with Community Action, And if the person is not a candidate or household cannot fit, then we try to find ways to help subsidize their situation. And it might be through utility assistance, or it may be helping out with homeless prevention. It may be, maybe we're paying for 1 month's rent so they can get themselves caught up. We're going to look at it in a creative way. We don't have an energy assistance program, but we do provide utility assistance if they meet the criteria where they don't have alternative income. We're going to look at their budget. We're going to look at their situation and see where we can help. A lot of times, and this is with everyone here, we hear our clients' stories, what's going on in their life, and we want to be able to help support it and help them towards self-sufficiency in the future, going forward. And that's what we do as agencies. We're all about collaborating and seeing how our funding sources can help that household. Because most of the time, it's not just one thing. It used to be a long time ago, someone would come in for a utility assistant, that was it. Now it's, tell us what's happening, and it might be, well, my utilities, I'm at risk of losing my rental, or I'm behind on my taxes, or I can't fit enough, I don't know where to go for food pantries. So you're like looking at their resources based off of their current situation. So it's very important to make note that all of us are person-centered, household-centered, and not, well, we did it for this person, so we'll do it for the other the same. We have to look at it as a unique situation in each household, so they get the best options to services out there. At Catholic Charities, I would say the most important piece is getting to know the person, helping that household feel relaxed and that they're in a trusting environment to share their financial situation, because it's not easy to discuss what's in your bank account. It's not easy to talk about what went wrong in their eyes without feeling like, is someone going to judge me? We're here to help. We're here to connect. I cannot express more about 211. As Carmen was saying, 211 is also another connector that helps save time for the working families. Families have a lot going on. When we also talk about referrals, we know all of the agencies. We work together to make sure that we can connect with other programs. So there could be a program at our agency that person didn't come in for. At first it's, let's say, utility assistance, but then we find out they need a payee. They need someone to help manage their Social Security benefit. Or they're at risk of homelessness, and we have to help prevent them. And we have housing programs that might be able to assist with some of the utility issues or the housing issues. And again, in collaboration with our housing continuum, working closely with even Samaritan House, and also with Community Action and Beatitude House, looking at the different types of options there are available to help stabilize the situation. So much of our funding comes from different sources. I'm going to say one is our rapid rehousing program and our housing prevention program that can maybe help stabilize the situation. But we also have emergency food and shelter program. We also have our appeal funding that we receive from the diocese. So there's, and then there's other types of funding that we have that are directed towards the situation at hand for the household. So I think it's just important for everyone to know that everyone is eligible based off of, a lot of times, their situation, but income based off of income and what their abilities are to stabilize themselves, can make a determination how we can help. But a lot of times it's collaboration, because we are a smaller community and there's not a lot of duplication of programs. But the collaboration is where I can give everyone the confidence that there's people who care about their situation, especially if they're running into a heating situation and it's cold and they have kids at home. We may be referring them to Winter Crisis, but also Department of Job and Family Services to see how they qualify for other types of wraparound services along with ours, and also the food pantries to help reduce some of the expenses that go along with everyday living.
I just my own personal observation, going to the grocery store, looking at housing prices, rent, everything is just boom, 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 boom.
I was thinking that too. I was wondering if, when you were first started and you were saying about that, 50% in that, and I was thinking, okay, years ago, thinking what rent is, gas, and your groceries. So if pretty much what you're coming in is about the same, and then you're looking at like rent is double, groceries, and so are you seeing a lot of, there's probably a combination of increased need plus maybe also like that's stressful, mental health with just the stress of
The stress of
major
expenses are
changes,
real.
pandemic,
They really are.
post-pandemic, and here we are now, and, gas was a couple bucks, and now you're almost $4, and, rent's 900, it's not,
Or more.
400, and,
And who would have thought like a cell phone would be the newest expense where landlines are not, like there's the combination of trying to keep connected with your family and that your cell phone is connected to everyone who's communicating with you. So there's new expenses. It's fair to say that everyone's trying to maintain a quality of life. And, going out to dinner might not be as much, or maybe it's every once in a while, like everyone's trying to make their household happy. So how do you do that? Some families are doing the taking from Peter to pay Paul, or they're trying to figure out different ways of maintaining their current budget creatively because it is expensive. The way food in itself is hard to budget. It used to be easy to budget that. Now, you're looking at least what used to be $100 is now $200. So this is where when we're looking at the Winter Crisis Program, helping families maybe even get linked to PIP, which maybe they did not know, and that's where their team really they do such a great job at seeing what their need is and saying, hey, we want to help more, and that takes it doesn't take a lot of time, but it's necessary, and it's something that we encourage anybody that walks through our doors to please reach out to Community Action, call 211 for the Winter Crisis Program.
well, then
One
you
thing-
have I'm sorry.
One thing about Catholic Charities, that's a big umbrella. It's a big umbrella. It touches so many aspects of a person's life, but so many aspects of our community. And so that's a place.
And how long have you been around in Ashtabula? Our
Since
office?
1944.
Jill
Actually,
was just a secretary then, but she's worked her way up.
but I haven't been. Actually, our current location, which is at 4200, if you notice, we have the same number. 4200 Park Avenue. We're located at the First Commonwealth Building on the 3rd floor. We've been at this location since 1996. Previous to that, we were on actually Main Avenue, right by the dental office, if I'm not mistaken. So we've been in and around this area for well over 30 years. And I kind of look at it as our agency has evolved with the needs of the community. So as the community speaks, that's how our programs develop, and we look at how that fits within our mission, how it fits within serving those in our community, and making sure that people are given the opportunity to really thrive in life. I think the hardest part is that people don't need it until they need it. You can talk about all these different types of programs, but until they're in that situation, that's where it gets really stressful. So having this opportunity, this vehicle of communication just to share about our areas of expertise, and that's helping people in need, that's why we're here. And our hopes is that they can move forward with lots of tools in the toolbox, and given some hope that maybe there's other things besides what everyone thinks to do to get out of their situations. There's other things, there's other tools.
Well, and with the holidays coming too, and your Halo program
Yes.
that you have, because another stress for parents, or could be a single parent, is that no matter what, you know, children, there's an expectation at the holiday. So that's an added stress to parents of thinking, you know, are we even gonna have a meal, let alone have toys and that for something joyful under the tree? So I know you do a lot with that program and,
So I'm glad you brought that up because we are launching our Halo program in many different ways. Our application process for those that are looking to receive assistance for Christmas, whether it's through our Halo distribution day or through adoption, which that can happen, we're opening up our application process at the first full week of October, which I think that's October 5th, if I have that, October 2nd. So that application process will be available online at our website, ccdoy.org. And also you can just call our agency and be connected, but we try to make it easy for the families by doing it online through QR code too. So we'll make sure that that information's out, especially on 211, and that information is going to be forwarded out to a lot of the providers, from the mental health agencies to the schools, community action, anyone that we know that would do referrals. The other thing is that we do have an annual fundraiser, and that's the Halo Dinner Dance. So save the date for that, and that's on November 4th at the Our Lady of Peace Community Center. We'll be selling tickets soon, but all of that is to help towards the proceeds for this program. I am going to leave a postcard, and it's basically has a QR code where it gives you the opportunity to ask more questions, whether you wanted to become a sponsor or you wanted to buy tickets, or if you wanted to volunteer on our distribution day, or if you wanted to find out more how you can adopt a family or to receive assistance. This is your portal to do that. So stay tuned for more information coming out. So and
Very good.
we serve over 500 households a year. And we do work in collaboration with other organizations that have Christmas programs. We do serve all of Ashtabula County, but we partner with a lot of the community service, like for example, Geo Ministries and also ACES Angels. So there's a lot of programs out there, but we talk. So we're all on the same page. But we're looking forward to another joyous Christmas for everyone. And it is to help those families that are trying to figure out, what can I do to help lessen the load? You know, what can I do to bring joy to their children? And you know, at the same time, it's expensive buying toys too. I mean, that's another thing. We talk about costs. It's not as easy as I guess it used to be. Our hopes are to provide options to those that are in need, and if there's person's eligible for being adopted through an organization or a family, the same. We try to make sure the guidelines are the same, so there's no disparity. You know, but
Carmen, so and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to say anything, but is it better to apply and be told, no, you don't qualify this or that, as opposed to not applying and then being caught? I don't want to make more work for you, but I
No,
would think it'd be
absolutely.
better to at least checked out, like Jill's services, people go there and then they get, but for like the heating thing, it'd be good to like say, and then you tell them, well, you know.
Yeah, I would say absolutely. It's always better to try, because they also can refer them then, and they're not just, oh, well, I don't qualify,
Yeah.
and sit and then, you know, not receive the help that they need. So we always want to encourage them to try to apply. There's no penalty for applying if you don't qualify. And like I said, then they can make referrals to other resources if they happen to be over income or for whatever reason they weren't eligible. Or sometimes it's just a matter of when they had their income and when they're applying. So a month from then, they might qualify based on, you know, oh, I don't have this pay coming in anymore. So we're requiring 30-day income. So, you know, if they've lost a job within 2 weeks, in a couple of weeks they won't have that income and they might qualify. So we always want them to come in and and just let, find out for sure. And then maybe there's another program that we have or that we can refer to. One thing I did want to mention, we have the 411 on 211. If you haven't seen this yet, it's a newsletter that 211 puts out, and it's very timely. It comes out every week, and it has like all of the current things that are happening within the community from the various partner agencies, organizations.
So how would you get on that list?
You can get on that list by going to our website, 211ashtabula.org. And Samantha Dragon, who does this wonderful publication, will add them to the email list. And they can just find it on that website as well. There's a newsletter place, and they can just click on it and read it there too. But we try to carry everything that's going on that's related for the community to know. So it's a really great resource to make sure people know about.
All right, I know
Amy has to leave.
we're at 5:10.
Well, I think all of the ladies, we have such a wealth of experience too, with all the time that they've been at these jobs, and that we can offer all this in Ashtabula. So I think sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So giving this information out, reminding folks again what we do have to offer, and you can apply for something somebody else might be able to help, and working together, especially as it's going to get colder and around the holiday time, to just make life a little bit better. So I thank you all, because I know it is a lot of work that you all put in.
And it's nice too, I didn't know this before I was a counselor, but sometimes your city councilor can be your first call in a crisis. So to be able to pass this knowledge on is very good.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about this.
No, I appreciate you coming very much, and
Yes.
appreciate what you do. And the fact that Ashtabula has services that all work together. That is the other thing I've learned since being a counselor, that we really have just a nice network of helping each other.
Good support team.
Does anybody have anything else before I adjourn?
Just pass these down.
When's
I'd
our
just like
next
to-
meeting? In October, and we have guest speakers of
Ooh, pens.
Jamie Baker from Maid on Main, and we have Huntington Bank, Dalton Rosato, about new business loan plans.
Is that October or November? Thought
Oh, maybe
October
that's
was-
November. October, do we have Greg Myers?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Did you
I
like
jumped
that?
ahead.
Dear cotton headlights. All
thank
right,
you.
let's adjourn.
You want some of these to put out at your...
I got my month.